Hello everyone and welcome to another I Try a Famous Author's Writing Routine. There we go. And so today's video is going to be a very simple one, and it is I am doing the writing routine, or if you think about the editing routine. Can you guys see? Julia Quinn. So she wrote the Bridgerton books and a lot of other romance novels. You guys could check out all the books she's written on her website, and I have all the Bridgerton books and also Queen Charlotte, because why not? And I was when I do my research and I'm looking up different writing routines, I'm always trying to find the ones that, one, I can realistically do living in 2024 in LA, right? And also ones I really want to do. And I also try to pick authors that I read, because they're like, I don't want to try authors that I'm like, I've never read a book of yours. You know, I want to try ones that I'm like fans of. And I was like thinking, ooh, I wonder if Julia Quinn has ever talked about her writing routine, because a lot of authors, they're very honest about their writing routine. And so they even say like, I don't have a very strong writing routine, or it goes in and out. And so, you know, it depends on where you are in your life. And so what I found in the research done with Julia Quinn is she just, in an interview, she said while she's editing, she likes to just edit and listen to classical music. And so that's what I'll be doing today. I'm going to sit on my little couch here in my office and edit the manuscript that I have for my novel. So I print in the manuscript that so far what I've written, and I'm just going to go into editing mode and play some classical music. I did this a few days ago, so I'll be in a different outfit, and I'm re-recording this intro because the audio was funky. So that is why I'll be in a different outfit. This video, there's not going to be a lot of movement. I'll be sharing what I'm doing, but really you're just watching me listen to classical music and editing. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for being here. Alright, so I am sitting down with my manuscript and I'm getting some editing done, writing some notes. I really wanted y'all to see the classical music I was playing from from my YouTube. I just went to YouTube and started to play like some classical music. But my audio, like I mentioned earlier, was so funky, like there was a lot of like crackling background noise, so I'm just adding this classical music. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you see me getting up from time to time, it's because I don't know why I decided to play the classical music from YouTube and not Spotify, but YouTube kept putting ads in the video, and so I had to get up numerous times just to skip the ads so I could continue on with the music. But yeah, so I'm just sitting back enjoying the breeze and just getting some editing done, and enjoy. Right. So what I loved about this process, sorry, it was such a warm day. But what I loved about this process is it gives me time to sit back and read what I've already wrote, and really allow me to like immerse myself as the reader instead of the writer, and seeing if this like flows well or if I need to add a little bit more substance to it. And that's sort of where I'm at right now, is building out the world of these characters. The dialogue, I think, is pretty spot on. It's pretty what I want. It's what I want it to be. But the world I have in my head, and I realize I'm not describing it. So, for example, there was this one character, like a therapist, that one of the characters is interacting with for like, you know, half a page. But I just really say therapist, and I don't really describe how she looks and how, like, So it's hard for the reader, I think, to really immerse themselves in the book if they can't really visualize what I'm trying to illustrate. You know what I mean? So just making myself notes like that. So how I edit here is I just write, like, edit grammar or just write new sentences, and then the purple post-its are just mainly more of like write new chapter here, add more to the scene here, describe the character. So it's a little bit easier for me. I don't know what it is. Editing like this, I feel like just allows me to catch more mistakes than editing on my laptop, because I feel like when I'm editing on my laptop, I'm just like still in writer mode. So it was nice. So it was nice just to take a break and continue reading and making some edits. I look so serious. By the way, I'm watching this and I'm like, I look very serious. I look very angry, and I'm not. I think if anything, I'm hot, but that's it. But yeah, just very angry. And by the way, I really appreciate the fact that I have this couch in my office. I don't utilize this couch often. It's short, it's a little uncomfortable, but I realized, I'm like, oh, this is a great like editing couch. So it's nice. Gotta drink that water. I'm telling you guys, when I was filming this, we had like a 5-day heat wave in Southern California. Yep, there's an ad again on the YouTube video. So it was warm. And like most people that live in LA, we live in buildings that were built in the 70s and 80s, and so they don't always have central AC. You have fans, so that's what we have. We have fans. Our last 2 apartments though did have AC. It's just this is our first one in LA that doesn't. Side note. All right, back to the editing. Alright, so I'm going to continue editing, like as you guys can see. So I'm just writing some notes. I checked the time just to double check to see how long I've been editing. My husband came in because he had a question, but he didn't know I was editing, or recording. So yeah, that was fun. So one of the things I was working on while I was editing, and I'm saying this as a ambulance or something goes by, is the whole book takes place in like 18 months. And so I realized that I had a lot going on in one of the months. Like, it wasn't stretched out like realistically. And I know in real life that, a lot can happen in 31 days, but I also just know for most of us, it's when you're dealing with like a stumble in your life, like you really sort of hit like your rock bottom, if you will. Hitting the rock bottom and admitting that you need help when my character is going through that doesn't happen within 1 month. And I realized I had it all like back to back, and I'm like, ooh, I need like a breather here. This needs to be a little bit more realistic. Like, you're not gonna have your aha moment so quickly after you hit rock bottom, especially because the characters are young, so there is that feeling of feeling invincible and nothing bad can happen to you. So there's all these, which is basically the same thing. So I just had to really like sort of rearrange some of the months. But again, reading it. So also, side note to any writers out there, I don't know, like, I'm not trying to sound conceited here, but there's times where I am reading what I wrote and I'm like, goddamn, I'm pretty smart. Like, I'm pretty creative. And I think we need to give ourselves kudos for that one as writers, as creatives, that when we are creating a whole new world, like this whole world comes out of like our imagination. And so to give ourselves some grace and some praise for that. Alright, so I'm going to continue on. I hope you enjoyed the classical music, and yeah. Alright, I do hope you enjoyed that video, and a few things I learned. Editing with classical music on is actually quite soothing. It keeps you focused on the words and the writing instead of listening to like pop music or a podcast. For me, I love music a lot, so if I'm listening to top 40 songs, I'll be singing along and not really focusing on what I'm reading. And if I'm listening to a podcast, I'll be listening to the podcast and not really focusing on what I'm reading and editing. And then when it's just like no noise, you get caught up in your internal noise, right? So when you're just trying to edit in silence, it can get a little like jarring, because then you're just thinking of all the things you have to do in your day, at least for me. So having classical music on was really calming. If you don't like classical music, there's always like, you know, background noise music, like water, like a brook of water, or like airplane white noise, whatever works for you. So that was nice. 2, this process doesn't need to take very long. Like, you give yourself 45 minutes, an hour, you can give yourself 2 hours, you can give yourself 3 hours. So there's not a time limit. So this really works, I feel like, with anyone, with any writer's or editor's lifestyle. Just fit it in. So 3, reading what you've written so far and editing it, right, gives you a time to, and I shared this earlier, to acknowledge the hard work you've done so far. I think as writers we get so caught up on like, oh my god, we have to write another 4,000 words, or we have to write another 10,000 words. And we forget that, holy fuck, I've already written 40,000 words. You know, like, give yourself some praise and look at what you've done so far. And it gives you that moment because you have it physically in your hand. So that's what I like. Alright, so again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you around for another famous author's writing routine. And let me know in the comments below if there's an author you really want me to try. I'll try my hardest if I can try that author's. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.